So today we will be discussing on the corporate environment responsibility. So corporate environment responsibility here we will be discussing on the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change EIA notification 2006, which is applicable for all those entities which are seeking an environment clearance from the state authority or the central authority for category A industries or entities. Now, corporate environment responsibility as difference with the corporate social responsibility. So basically, corporate environment responsibility is linked to the environmental compliance side. So we say about environmental. So this basically is within the regulations of the EIA notification 2006 and subsequent circulars and office memorandum. So corporate environment responsibility earlier was based on the project cost, a percentage of the project cost. Subsequently, it has been the flexibility has been given to the project proponent to build in the corporate environment responsibility based on the project specific. So project specific risk, and based on that, a project proponent can propose the amount of corporate environment responsibility that they will be spending on the project over a period of time, which may be increased, modified based on the expert advisory committee or the state environment impact assessment authority. So the project proponent has to accept that, whether he has done it as a part of the EIA report or during the presentation or has been recommended by the authorities. So there is a provision for the submission of compliances. Now this is 6 monthly compliances. So it's a very important process of submitting the compliances. There are provisions which we will be discussing subsequently as to what will be the effect of non-compliance. But at this point of time, the compliance onto CER, the corporate environment responsibility, is very important. So basically in the CER, what does the authority would like to know? That's in terms of reference applicable for the CER. So terms of reference, they would like to know that does the company which is applying for the EC, does it have the environment policy? Is the environment policy properly laid down, documented? Number 2, or the subclause of that, has that environment policy been approved by the board? It's very important that the environment policy is approved by the board of directors. So board of directors are responsible for the compliances or whatever commitments been given to the as regards to environment, given to the authorities. Now is there a standard operating procedure process? All these things are something which is a continuous process right from the initial stage. Are they having it? They may upgrade it based on the situation, but the primary document has to be there, and all those aspects which are helpful to improve the environmental standards or reduce the environmental adverse impacts, it has to be done, and the responsibilities of the management. What is the administrative structure that has been created to deal with an environmental issue? And what is the reporting structure? What happens if there is an environmental violation? So the approving authority would like to know all these aspects, and based on which the terms are finalized, and then adherence to the terms is very, very important. So unlike the CER has got a very clear objective, CSR has got a different thing. CSR, corporate social responsibilities, the difference is that it is based on the profit, it is governed under the Companies Act, whereas CER is being discussed, and the authority to whom the information is submitted is Ministry of Environment, Forest and the State Environment Impact Assessment, who issue the environment clearance based on the delegated powers. Now, what are the CER? What are the common activities that has been there? Is the projects can be having the CER projects. The company may stipulate that drinking water supply system. They may do something on the sanitation and hygiene infrastructure, health and education, rural electrification, includes of course solar energy, solid waste management, rainwater harvesting structures, soil conservation work, plantation, road and drainage, scientific support to local farmers, skill development programs. So each of the CER plan must include detailed budgets, implementation timeline, and monitoring or reporting framework. So all these things are to be maintained, updated, known to various stakeholders, and it has to be approved by the board as a whole. Now, as I was been told, has been telling, is what is the role of a chartered accountant for all these things? As you've seen in my previous deliberations, is that all these are linked somewhere in terms of a commitment by the board or commitment by the project proponent to the on related to environment. So as the commitment, so the compliances, reporting, existing ground level structures, the informations, all these things are having an effect. So whether it's a regulatory compliance, definitely a CA has a role, whether the terms and conditions has been done, so that aspect a CA has to check. Certifying of the funds, what has been committed, what has been utilized, whether the CER funds, the project for which the amount was allocated, has that allocation been taken care of, is also been as is a role of a chartered accountant. Estimation, budget estimation, revalidation of budget estimation, actual versus budget, the variance analysis is a very important role that a CA will contribute. Now, financial integration. Now, environmental performance and the liabilities has got a direct impact on the financial performance indicators. So, it has become so important that environmental compliances also become a very important decision making point for the investors to invest in a company or monitor their investments. So, there are listed companies to whom BRSR norms are applicable. For them, there is a set format, BRSR core and BRSR. For voluntary, BRSR light is also there, which once again becomes an area for which a CA is very important, as he can educate, monitor, create a systems, SOPs in terms of these type of this one. Capacity building, very important that it's not that only the board knows what environment compliance. It is every level in the organization, every stakeholder, every shareholder, inside stakeholder, inside shareholder, I mean to say the employees, the vendors. So basically we talk about the compliances that is there in terms of environment is much larger than the traditional financial compliance. So a CA who has been trained in multitasking as a part of its day-to-day working is the right choice, dealing with multidisciplinary people. So this, as I told you in the initial thing, so this involves a lot of multidisciplinary experts. So as a professional in finance, it's important that we try and understand the other side and learn and try and interpret, and that becomes a very important task of looking at both the sides, the technical, the financial, the legal, and the the authority side, which is into the policy side of it. So virtually everybody, today's stakeholders are investors, the regulators, the consumers, the society at large. They expect a lot of transparency and accountability. So it's not just a profit that matters, it also looks like what contribution they have done for reducing the environmental adverse impact of that. So chartered accountant, by virtue of their training in compliance, risk management and financial systems, they are ideally positioned to guide the business in navigating the complex terrain of environmental governance. So to sum up, we would say that corporate environment responsibility is no longer a simple compliance matter. It's a strategically an important initiative. The chartered accountant's evolving role in this domain and the professional adaptability, all these are very important in making it a sustainable growth initiative. So by aligning environmental responsibilities with financial expertise, a CA can build businesses that are both profitable and planet conscious. That's where the true balance of values and value has been there. So I have also shared you the link of the more detail into my LinkedIn profile, a link where there is an article which has been published on this subject. You can check up these details also. And let's make the environmental activity not limited to certain people. As a CA, we have got a major role in terms of educating the promoters, various stakeholders, working with the policymakers, ensuring that the compliances is on the ground level, on to the concern, to all the various stakeholders are aware, and we build in a transparent system and an environmental sustainable activity. Thank you very much.